Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Prime Minister. Will the Deputy Prime Minister update the House on how the Morrison-Joyce government is delivering critical infrastructure such as the Inland Rail, which will support regional communities and economies, including my electorate of Parkes? Is the Deputy Prime Minister aware of any alternative policies?
The Deputy Prime Minister has the call.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker, and I too join in hoping you enjoyed one of your last days in the tetchiest time of the year and one of the most difficult jobs in Australia. Look, I'd like to thank the honourable member for his question and note his lifetime work, political lifetime work, in supporting the Inland Rail and how important that is for our nation. Mr Speaker, the Inland Rail, of course, is a clear icon of how the Nationals and the Coalition are driving the growth of inland Australia with policies that will double the size of Parkes in the member for Riverina's seat, double the size of Narrabri in the member for Parkes seat. And this is a clear indication of how it will reach forward to places such as Toowoomba, down to Albury, and also into Melbourne, to Brisbane, and to Goondiwindi. This is a policy that clearly describes to the Australian people how this side of the House has a vision for the future, a vision for the future that drives areas ahead, that gives the infrastructure for growth. This side of the House can clearly state that the billions of dollars that were required for this project came from the Expenditure Review Committee and the deliberations of Cabinet, something that the Labor Party just left behind. They do not have a vision for regional Australia, and that vision on this side of the House continues on, Mr Speaker, with such projects as the Outback Way, making sure that we progress the process of sealing the third road across our great nation. That is an item that shows vision. But, Mr Speaker, the member for Parkes also asked about alternate policies, and it's very hard to divine a policy on for regional Australia from the other side, from the Labor side, from the Labor Green side, because they don't have one. Or they might have one, but they just won't tell us about it. Because we've seen of late, Mr Speaker, that they've become rather sneaky, charmingly sneaky, but rather sneaky about not telling us about their legislation, such as the legislation they tend to bring forward regards their climate policy. And of course, look, I don't know, but I know that they're very charming, but they're very sneaky. And this is very important for our side of the House because we are the ones that are coming forward with the policies, whether it's for dams. We actually built dams. We're actually building dams. The Labor Party in Rookwood Weir.
Members on my left.
Extension of Chaffey Dam. Scottsdale Irrigation District. You don't even follow what we're doing. But we can take you to Scottsdale in Tasmania. We can take you to Rookwood Weir in Queensland. We can take you to Chaffey Dam, and and the process goes on. But, Mr Speaker, for us to keep delivering to this side, we must make sure that it's a coalition government that leads the way.